So we have here stock valuation. Okay. It is the process of determining the stock's intrinsic or true value using acceptable mathematical or computational models. Stock valuation is necessary step in identifying whether the stock is currently undervalued or overvalued to determine an acceptable course of action. So dito class, no, in applying for the different or various methods or techniques, no, in valuation of stock, ang mako-compute kasi natin ay ang tinatawag nating true value or intrinsic value, no? Kasi ang market value or market price of the stock is readily available sa stock exchange, no, sa stock market. So nagbabago ang presyo ng stock lalo na kapag publicly listed po pinag-usapan natin, no? Every day kapag open ang market from Monday to Friday, starting from at 9 o'clock to 1 p.m. ngayon, dati hanggang 4 p.m. Okay, 9:30 po, no, kasi magkakaroon ng open period ng 9 to 9:30. So, ngayon, the intrinsic value kapag kinumpare natin sa market value at equal sila, so equilibrium ito. Okay? So kung equilibrium siya, your decision could either be to buy or to sell. Wala ka namang lugi dyan. Hindi siya overvalued, hindi rin siya undervalued. Or just indifferent. No? So meron tayong tinatawag na indifference point. Okay? Indifference point. Ayan. Now, if the intrinsic value or the true value is greater than the market value, no? So yung totoong presyo niya, mas mataas kung magkano siya binibenta sa market. Ibig sabihin class, undervalued siya. No? Kung undervalued yung stock, okay, diyan ka dapat bumili, no? Kasi binibenta siya ng discounted. Mababa yung presyo. So your decision should be to buy the stock. But if the intrinsic value is less than the market value, ibig sabihin maraming gustong bumili. So nadadrive pataas yung presyo ng stock, ibig sabihin yan, okay, overvalued siya. So kung overvalued yung stock, what should be your decision? Eh di dapat ikaw po ay magbenta kung meron ka ng stock holding nito. Kung wala ka pa, okay, just stay on the sideline, wag ka munang bumili. Hayaan mo munang mag-pullback. Okay? Bumalik dun sa medyo mababang presyo niya o kaya naman mag-correction, ang tawag po doon sa stock market. Mag-correct muna, no? Tsaka ka bumili. Kahit na mas mataas yung value, at least nag-pullback ng konti, mas madaming shares ang mabibili mo. Ayan, class, no? So these are the decision, okay? Or course of action that you have to take depending on the valuation of the stock, no? Undervalued, overvalued, or at equilibrium. Kaya kailangan po nating malaman at makompute ang true value ng stock. Then we have the different methods, okay, of valuation ng stock. So we have here number 1, the non-discounted technique. So pag sinabi nating non-discounted technique class, hindi ka gumagamit ng present value factor. Okay? So ibig sabihin, wala kang discount rate, wala kang effective interest rate or yung required rate of return or WACC, hindi mo po gagamitin yon under the non-discounted technique. And we can apply, okay, under the non-discounted technique, the book value or net asset value approach. So pag sinabi nating net asset value approach, okay, or book value, it is equivalent to asset minus liability. So yung natitira, it is equivalent to the net asset or equity. Diba? So yung equity na ito, i-divide mo naman sa number of outstanding shares. Kaya meron kang price per share. Ayan. So technically, the book value or net asset value per share is the total shareholders' equity over the number of outstanding shares. So the net asset value or book value utilizes the total shareholders' equity portion of the financial statement. The objective of this approach is to determine the net asset value per share. Okay, iba po yung net asset value per unit or NAVPU. Okay, NAVPU or net asset value per unit, yan naman ay para doon sa UITF. Okay? Ibang investment product naman yon. Aside from the book value or net asset value approach, we have the price earnings relative valuation approach. Okay? Itong price earnings relative valuation approach class, kailangan mong i-compute ang corporate value muna, no? Meron tayong separate discussion sa relative valuation technique, but this is an overview kung anong gagawin natin. So, if you're going to apply the PE relative valuation approach, the PE ratio or price earnings ratio should be calculated. At ang price earnings ratio class ay market price per share, that's price, no? MPS, market price per share, divide this by EPS, earnings per share. You have learned this in your financial management, particularly FS analysis. Diba? So itong mako-compute mo is the price earnings ratio. Then, i-multiply mo itong multiple na ito sa net income. Okay? At ang mako-compute na natin is the CV or corporate value. Pero itong corporate value na to, naka-total peso amount. Kaya kailangan mong i-divide sa number of ordinary shares to get the intrinsic value of the stock under non-discounted technique, particularly the price earnings relative valuation approach. Okay? So yan po ang letter A natin. Now for letter B class, okay? Dito na po usually nagtatanong, no? Yung discounted technique. Meaning, gumagamit na tayo ng required rate of return or R sub S or known as cost of common equity. So sa perspective ni investor, required rate of return R sub S yon. Sa perspective naman ni issuer, yan po ay cost of common equity. Okay? Now if you're going to apply the method on corporate valuation technique or firm valuation method, instead of cost of equity lang, ang i-apply mo ay yung buong weighted average cost of capital. Okay? So, under discounted technique, we have here number 1, okay, the discounted dividend model. Ayan ha. So, dito sa discounted dividend model, ang sinasabi niya, nakabase doon sa dividend kung magkano ang presyo ng stock. So, kung dividend lang yan, equity portion lang pinag-uusapan, hindi kasama ang debt or cost of debt. Kaya ang pang-divide natin, denominator natin sa dividend is yung cost of equity, which is on the part or perspective again of the investor ay ang tinatawag nating required rate of return on stock. So discounted dividend model or David Gordon model is a model that takes into consideration the expected cash flow of investment in stocks which are dividend. Okay, dividends. Inflow kasi yan eh. Okay, on the part of the investor, outflow naman sa issuer. And stock price upon sale. So yan naman tinatawag nating capital gains. Okay, so simply put, the value of the stock depends on the present value of all the dividends and present value of the price of the stock once it is sold. Okay, so there are 3 scenarios or 3 discounted dividend model that you have to consider. First, the zero growth. Second, the constant growth. And then third, we have here the non-constant or supernormal growth model. So dito sa zero growth class or no growth discounted dividend model, it is a situation where stock and its dividend does not grow. So naka-fix. Ito normally ay ina-apply sa preferred stock. No? This is a characteristic of preferred share. So the formula, ito pong tandaan natin, balikan lang po natin, P sub 0 is equal to div 1 over R sub S. So where P sub 0 is the price of the stock today, dividend, okay, and R sub S is the required rate of return. Whether div 1, div 2, div 3, hindi po magkakaiba yan kasi wala naman siyang growth rate. Okay? Now, aside from zero growth, we have the constant and non-constant growth. Okay? Ang concept ng constant growth class, ito po ay company na merong fixed and constantly increasing stock. Okay? Because the growth rate is also fixed. So, ibig sabihin, instead na i-present value mo isa-isa yung mga dividend, ano yan perpetual yan di ba? In perpetuity, tuloy-tuloy yung pag-grow niya constantly. So, kesa naman i-present value mo isa-isa, ang gawin mo na lang class, i-apply mo itong formula na ito, no? which is P sub 0 is equal to, okay, div1 over RS minus G. Again, RS is the required rate of return minus growth rate. Okay, the higher the growth rate, kung makikita nyo sa formula, bumababa ang denominator. Tumataas ang price ng stock. Di ba? So, ganyan. So, take note of this. And may mga instances na yung company sa first 2 years, 3 years, non-constant, super normal. Diba? Ibig sabihin, nag-jump sobrang taas ng growth rate, 10%, 15%, 20%, tapos naging 5% constantly na. So for 3 years, super normal yung growth. And then pagdating ng peak at naging normal na, yan, constant growth na siya. So dating non-constant, magiging constant. So meron dalawang phase. The non-constant phase or super normal and the constant phase. And the non-constant phase ends kailan? On the terminal date. Diba? The terminal date is the date when the non-constant phase ends and the constant phase begins. So, in a super normal or constant growth, this is a situation where the stock, no, and its dividend grow at a different rate at earlier part of the life of the corporation. Such growth shall terminate, okay? Kailan? At the horizon or terminal date, where the stock and its dividends begin to grow at a constant rate. So kung makikita nyo class sa formula, okay, ang pag-compute ng price ng stock is not as simple as div1 over RS minus G. No? Ang ginagawa dito class, yung dividend 1, since super normal, for example, 10% po yung growth rate, i-divide mo muna at ibalik mo na isang beses, divide it by 1 plus R. Okay? And then dividend 2, i-compute mo naman yung second dividend, tapos divide this by 1 plus R raised to 2. So, ibabalik mo ng dalawang beses. Kaya magiging P sub 0. And then, dividend 3, okay, i-divide mo naman sa 1 plus R raised to 3. So, 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. So, babalik naman siya ng 3 beses. So, 1, 2, 3. Ngayon, meron ng terminal date. So, yung dividend sa terminal date, okay, i-divide mo naman ng 1 plus R raised to the terminal date. So say for example, on the 4th year, constant na siya, dyan na nagsimula yung pagiging constant phase niya. Diba? So nag-end naman na yung non-constant phase. So kung ganun pala, kailangan mo rin na i-present value yung dividend, okay, on the terminal date as well as the terminal value. Paano kino-compute yung terminal value? Then this will be dividend over RS minus G. Okay? So, ganyan po, no? So, dividend on the terminal date, okay, plus 1. Siyempre, dapat meron pang additional pa na expected dividend dyan. So, mag-ingat kayo, class, kung ang binigay na dividend ay just paid dividend, div 0 yon. Pero pag sinabing expected dividend, dividend 1. Okay? So, I know class naman na dinadiscuss na to thoroughly sa FinMan ninyo. So, nire-review na lang po natin, no? And I hope na maalala ninyo yung na-discuss. Okay? At ina-apply na natin ngayon. So, P sub 0 is the stock price today. TD is the terminal date or horizon date, which is the end of the non-constant growth phase. Dividend 1 to TD represents dividend to be received during the non-constant phase. TV is the terminal value. At ito po class yung formula, no, ng terminal value. Ayan. The formula for terminal value, as discussed a while ago, ito po. Dividend on the terminal date plus 1 over RS minus G. Again, R is the required rate of return. G is the growth rate. Okay? Now, aside from the David Gordon model or the dividend discount technique, meron tayong corporate valuation or free cash flow model. Okay? So sa una, nakafocus lang sa dividend. At common stock lang ang may dividend or preferred stock, di ba? So you have here R sub S lang ang pang-discount natin. Pero dito sa free cash flow, marami kang sources ng cash flow. Pwede kang umutang, okay? Pwede kang magkaroon ng utang sa public through issuance of bond. Kaya po, meron tayong weighted average cost of capital. Maliban po sa cost of equity, may cost of debt pa. Diba? So, in corporate valuation model, this model computes the company's market value. So the first step, class, is to compute for the free cash flow. The second step is to compute for the market value of the firm. And then the third step is to compute for the intrinsic value. Okay, so free cash flow muna. Tsaka mo i-compute yung market value. Okay, and the free cash flow should be the expected free cash flow, hence FCF1. Okay. Now, the model computes the company's market value based on the present value of company's free cash flows. Upon determination of the market value of the company, the long-term debt and preferred shares, capital is deducted, leaving the market value of the common stock to be divided by the number of outstanding common stock or shares to determine that stock's intrinsic value. So again, paano po kinumpute? So first step, free cash flow. Second step, market value. Third step, price of the stock. Now, in computing for the price of the stock or P sub 0, ito po yung mga relevant formula na kailangan mo i-consider. P sub 0, the stock price today. Market value of the firm is MV of the firm. MV of the debt or total debt. MV of preferred. I-deduct mo yan from market value of the firm to get the market value of the common equity. Tsaka mo i-divide doon sa number of shares outstanding to get the intrinsic value of the common equity. Free cash flow at end of year 1, that's FCF1, WACC or weighted average cost of capital, G is the growth rate, TD is the terminal date, TV is the terminal value, and OCS, outstanding common stock. Ngayon, class, sa pag-compute ng free cash flow, no? Ito po yun, no? You have here earnings before interest and tax. No, yung EBIT po ay earnings before interest and tax, hindi po before income tax, no? Before interest and tax. Then multiply this by 1 minus tax rate. Okay? Plus depreciation and amortization. So this is EBITDA. Okay, EBITDA minus CAPEX, capital expenditure, and then plus increase in net working capital. And naka-open close parenthesis po ito, kaya pwede pong diretso na lang na minus, di ba? So ito po, no, EBIT times 1 minus tax rate plus depreciation plus amortization minus CAPEX and minus increase in net working capital. Okay, kasi naka-open close parenthesis yan. Diretso na lang na minus. Pero kung gusto mo, minus yung total ng CAPEX and increase in net working capital. So, ang ginagawa lang ng free cash flow, binabalik lang niya, class, kung magkano talaga yung cash flow. Kaya ina-add back mo yung non-cash deductible expenses. Diba? Tapos tinatanggal mo yung mga outflow. Yung, kumbaga, binayaran mo for capital expenditure at saka yung mga binayaran mo kapag nag-increase yung working capital. Say, for example, nagbayad ka ng liability, current liability such as accounts payable, debit accounts payable, credit cash. Or kapag bumili ka ng inventory. Okay? So now, after computing for free cash flow, that's step number 1. Step number 2 is compute for the market value of the firm. Kapag zero growth, para kang nag-div 1 over R sub S, pinalitan mo lang yung dividend ginawa mong free cash flow, yung R sub S ginawa mong WACC. Okay? Bakit po cost of capital ngayon ang pang-divide natin? Dahil ang free cash flow ay pwedeng manggaling sa utang. Pwede rin manggaling sa surplus earnings natin or profit. Okay? So, pupunta yung profit kasi sa RE. So, common equity. Yun po yung tinatawag nating cost of retained earnings. Yan. Now, if constant growth class ang ating company, meron po tayong formula na market value of the firm, okay, is equivalent to free cash flow 1. I-highlight ko yung 1 class kasi kapag binigyan sa inyo ay free cash flow today, 0 yan. So dapat expected muna. Okay? Bakit expected? Kasi nga magi-invest ka pa lang, 'di ba? So kung gusto mong alamin kung magkano ang true value niya, ang free cash flow na marireceive mo pa lang at the end of the year, yun dapat ay consider mo. Hindi yung na-receive na ng iba kasi hindi ka pa investor at this moment. Okay? Divide this by WACC minus G. Kapag non-constant growth firm, para lang din tayong nag-compute ng P sub 0 under David Gordon model. Instead, the div 1 over 1 plus R sub S raised to 1, dito naman, free cash flow 1 over 1 plus WACC raised to 1. Free cash flow 2 over 1 plus WACC raised to 2. 2 minus 2, 0. Market value of the firm today. Today is 0. Free cash flow 3 over 1 plus WACC raised to 3. Bakit 0 ulit? 3 minus 3, 0. So, ibig sabihin, binabalik mo ng 3 beses. And then, free cash flow of the terminal, on the terminal date, that is free cash flow 4, kasi terminal date, kunyari yung 4, okay, over 1 plus WACC raised to 4. Kung terminal date ay 4. Kung terminal date ay 5, o di tuloy mo. No? And then, compute for the terminal value. Okay? At yung terminal value natin, again, ito na po yung free cash flow. Okay? Free cash flow on the terminal date plus 1. So mag-extend ka pa ng 1 taon, di ba? Plus 1. Then divide this free cash flow on the terminal date plus 1 by WACC minus G. So para kang nag-dividend on the terminal date plus 1, divide this by RS minus G. So ito, terminal value po yung mako-compute mo. Then yung terminal value, kailangan mong i-present value. So divided by 1 plus WACC raised to the terminal date. Kung ano po, ilang year po, or anong year yung terminal date. So pag na-compute mo yung market value of the firm, the third step will be, i-deduct mo ang market value ng utang mo at preferred stock mo. Para matira is market value ng common stock. And then divide it by outstanding capital stock to compute for the price or intrinsic value of the stock today. Tsaka mo i-compare sa stock market price. Tsaka tatanungin mo, uy, overvalued ba? Undervalued ba? Or at indifference point dahil equilibrium siya. Okay? Now, let us solve problem letter A. So first meter investment company expects to pay. So pag sinabing expects to pay, yan po ay 1. Dividend 1. Di ba? Pag sinabing just paid, dividend 0 po yan. So ito po, 3 ay div 1. To its common stockholders at the end of the year, the dividend is expected to grow at 25% a year until year 3. After which time, the dividend is expected to grow at a constant rate of 5% per year. So maging 5% na lang. So dito binigay na yung dividend 1, dividend 3, 4.6875, and dividend 4, 4.921875. The beta of the stock is 1.2, the risk-free rate is 6%, and the market rate of return is 11%. So papakomputin ka pa using capital asset pricing model, which is RFR, plus MRP times beta, para makompute mo yung R sub S. So ang una mong tatanungin dito, ano yung R sub S ko? Required rate of return, no? On a capital stock applying the capital asset pricing model. Okay? So ngayon, question number 1, what is the company's current stock price? Okay, question number 2, from the preceding number, what is the stock dividend yield today? So kung sa bonds merong current yield, dito naman sa stock may dividend yield. So to compute class, no, div 1 ay 3, tapos div 2, 1 plus growth rate which is 25%, so 33.75. Div 3, given yan, i-multiply mo lang yung 3.75 ng 1.25. And then div 4, okay, hanggang 3, third year lang naman, di ba? Div 4 will be 4.6875 times 1.05. So 4.921875. Okay? Then after mong makompute yung mga dividend, kasi kailangan mong i-present value yung mga yan kasi non-constant, no? I-compute mo naman yung R sub S. So ito yung R sub S natin, no? 11 minus 6%, that's 5% times 1.2 na beta. And the beta is aggressive kasi more than 1 plus 6, so you have your 12%. Then, compute for the terminal value. The terminal date is year 3. So yung next period niya, dividend 4, terminal value naman ang makukompute mo. So 4.921875, this is the dividend when the constant growth phase starts. Okay, di ba? At 5%. So i-divide mo naman siya ng R minus G. So that's 12 minus 5, that's 7%. So the terminal value is 70.3125. Okay? At ito na po siya, no? Ayan, 70.3125. That's the terminal value. And this 70.3125, okay, ay TV3, no? TV3, terminal value sa year 3. So kailangan mong ibalik ng 3 beses. Kaya 1 plus WACC or 1 plus R sub S. Since dividend growth model ito or discounted technique, David Gordon model, 1 plus R sub S raised to 3. Pero pag corporate valuation model, 1 plus WACC. In this case, 12 po tayo, R sub S. Tapos itong div1, ito po yung given sa problem, ibalik mo ng isang beses. Kaya 1 plus 12% raised to 1. So babalik siya ng isang beses. 1 minus 1, 0. Tapos yung second year mo, 3.75, i-divide mo naman ng 1.12 raised to 2. 2 minus 2, 0. And then your dividend 3, which is 4.6875, i-divide mo naman ng 1.12 raised to 3. Eh sir, anong nangyari doon sa 4.921875 ko? Hindi mo siya present value separately kasi part siya ng terminal value mo. Okay, 70.3125 over 1 plus 12% raised to 3. Okay? So our answer is 59.05. Ngayon, ang dividend yield, this is equivalent to div1 over P sub 0. So the price of the stock today, ang presumption kasi class, yung intrinsic value mo is equal to your market price. Theoretically. Di ba? Intrinsic value equal siya sa market price. Okay? Para at equilibrium pa rin siya. Pero syempre, in reality, hindi po. Overvalued siya or undervalued. Why? Because in reality, the market is inefficient. Ibig sabihin, hindi po lahat ng investor alam ang mga important information para i-value correctly ang stock. Okay, so the dividend yield in this case is 3 pesos over 59.05, 5.08%. So to answer, again, letter D for number 2 and letter B, boy, for number 1. Problem letter B, the last dividend paid by Insecurity Bank was 1 peso. So last dividend, so that's div 0. Insecurity Bank growth rate is expected to be constant at 5% for 2 years, after which dividends are expected to grow at a rate of 10% forever. Ayan, buti pa dito may forever class, no? Doon sa ating example lang. Ayan. So, IB, not SB. IB's required rate of return is 12%. What is the current price of IB's common stock? So first class, i-compute nyo muna ang dividend 1. Kasi ang binigay is dividend 0. Yung 1, that's just paid dividend, so div 0. Times 1.05, so you have 1.05. Dividend 1, ilalagay mo naman dito, multiply it by 1.05. So 1.05 times 1.05 is 1.1025. And this dividend 2, dito mo naman ilalagay ngayon, times 1 plus growth rate. And you have 1.1025 times 10% constant na po siya. And this will now be your dividend 3, 1.21275. Okay? At yung mga dividend na yan, class, kailangan mo para i-present value yung iyong stock price. So yung dividend 3, which is 1.21275, gagamitin mo siya sa pag-compute ng terminal value. At ito po ang formula. So, ang terminal value natin ay 60.6375. And this 60.6375, ito po siya, ibabalik mo ng 2 beses. Okay? Bakit 2 beses? Because the terminal date is the date when the non-constant phase ends and the constant phase begins. So, second year, may dividend. Starting year 3, dun pa lang po nagkaroon ng constant phase. Kaya, TV2, no? Terminal value 2 yan, ibabalik mo ng 2 beses. So ito po yun, no? Divide this by 1.12 raised to 2. Dividend 2, okay? That's 1.025 divided by 1.12 raised to 2. And dividend 1, that's 1.05 divided by 1.12 raised to 1. So ang sagot po natin ay 50.15. Yan po, ha? Yan po ang price ng stock na non-constant. And then we have here Ben 10 Corporation. Ben 10 Corporation has projected earnings before interest and tax for the next year amounting to 600 million. Ayan po, no? Yan yung EBIT niya. With tax rate of 40%, projected depreciation expense, capital expenditure, and increase. Increase po ito, ha, in working capital for the next year. So puro expected, no? 100 million, 200 million, and 120 million respectively. Ano ulit ang formula? EBIT times 1 minus tax rate plus DA. Ano yung DA? Depreciation plus amortization minus CAPEX minus increase in working capital. The capital structure of the company is 40% debt, 60% equity. Its cost of equity is 12%, while cost of debt is 11.6%, 66%. So dito, magpapakompute pa ng weighted average cost of capital. At alam nyo na yung formula nun, no? What is the market value of the firm? Okay. If the free cash flow is expected to grow at 6% per year. From the preceding number, if the market value of debt and preferred stock is 1 billion and stock price is 62.5, binigay na po yung intrinsic value niya, no? 62.5 per share. What is the number of outstanding shares? So work back lang po yan. So to answer class, no? Yung free cash flow munang i-compute natin before we proceed to the so-called market value of the firm. So you have here 600 million times 0.6, so that's 360 million plus 100 million depreciation, so 460 minus 200 million, that's 260 minus 120 million na increase in working capital, the free cash flow one is 140 million. At yung weighted average cost of capital natin, it's cost of debt times 1 minus tax rate times weight of the debt or debt ratio plus cost of equity times equity ratio. So 11.66 times 0.6 times 40% plus 12% times 60%, ang ating weighted average cost of capital, okay, computed for this particular problem is 10%. Yan, 10% po, no? Now, this 10% will be used to compute for the free market value of the firm. So, compute na natin ang free cash flow 1, which is 140 million, and the WACC, which is 10%, given po yung growth rate na 6%. So, the market value of the firm is 3.5 billion. And this 3.5 billion, gagamitin mo siya dito, okay? Because in computing for the price of the stock today, it is market value of the firm minus market value of debt and preferred over outstanding capital stock. Pa-work back yan, so transpose mo lang, no? Yung outstanding capital stock ngayon ang i-compute, nasa denominator ngayon yung price na given sa problem. So 3.5 billion minus 1 billion, that's 2.5 billion, divided by 62.5 per share. Now the number of shares outstanding is 40 million shares. Okay, so to answer the requirement for this particular problem class, okay, we have here number 3, 3.5 billion letter B, and for number 4, 40 million shares letter A. Okay, so with this, we end our discussion with regard to review on stock valuation.